What are the most common illnesses that affect runners, and what do you recommend?
Most common illnesses. Well, there's the shin splints.
Yes.
Darn it. I don't like the term shin splints. I feel like it's very vague and broad. It's like throwing the IBS term on somebody who has digestive discomfort. It's an umbrella term that encompasses three major things. So to dive more into that example, you have stress fracture, usually of the tibia or the front shin muscle. You have a tibialis anterior muscle strain, which is just basically that muscle at the front of your leg that helps to lift your toes up. You might have damaged that somewhere along the way. And the third is a miniature compartment syndrome, which is basically surrounding that anterior compartment or the front compartment of your shin bone where the muscles sit is a sheath that doesn't stretch very well. So when you work those muscles out, they get more blood, they eventually start swelling, and as they swell, they hit this outside compartment. Once they hit that, if they can't swell further, it creates pain. So it starts to compress a little bit more on the muscle, and as the muscle wants to stretch out and bring more blood into the area, it's not able to because this compartment's preventing it. So depending on which of those is happening, it can change how you want to treat it. So for example, if you get shin splints at a certain point throughout your run and it's predictable, so when I hit the 3 kilometer mark, I usually get pain right here. That's more likely going to be that compression type syndrome where because you've worked those muscles out, somewhat predictably they start to stretch out and reach their limit. Whereas if you have a strain, it's more likely going to hurt as soon as you start running. Like right off the bat, you're going to feel it. Similarly with if you have that stress fracture of the bone, which isn't a complete break, it's just saying that over time you've basically worn that bone a little bit. You have little tears in the muscle or little fracture lines in the muscle. It's still strong, it's still working, but at some point we have worked it out and broken that tissue down without building it back up sufficiently to maintain its strength or ideally to have it grow and get stronger. So treatment for that one specifically is more so you have to rest to some extent. You have to at least decrease the impact on it. So it could be a form, it could be how hard you're striking the ground, it could be the shoes and how your shoes are interacting with the ground. So if you have no soles, or if you're barefoot running, if that's not working well for you in your form, then maybe that's not the way to go, or maybe you dove in too quickly. So again, it's a big question. Also, you can have some basically knee discomfort, just the meniscus in your knee that basically allows the lower part of your leg, the shin and the thigh, and the upper part of the leg, the thigh, to interact. It's a load-bearing structure that over time just basically gets compressed over and over. So again, could be basically anything that we mentioned before. Sorry, they're long answers, but I'm trying to offer something meaningful beyond just it could be anything. So once we figure out what that is, then we can figure out how to better treat it and how to better prevent it so that you can go on doing what you love without having to deal with that nagging annoyance, or in some cases that sidelining pain that you're having.
Good.